Good morning, guys. So a few weeks ago, I did an episode or an interview with Train magazine, and it was included in February's edition of that magazine that came out. And when I was at the Atlanta airport this past weekend, coming back from North Carolina, I picked it up. So it's this one right here, Train, February 2018. And then inside, there's the Order Through Disorder, which is my transformation from my eating disorder when I was 14 years old to now, which is weird because sometimes I actually forget about it because it was 13 years ago. It established such a huge part of my life through nutrition and fitness, and that's the story I'm going to tell today once I get to work. As you guys have seen and as you've mentioned, this is about the fourth time I've tried and attempted the post-army beard, but this is the longest it's gone so far. A large part of the people in the domain here this morning are acting like they've never seen a man talk to a camera before. I don't get it. Don't get it. The domain is like this is where I live. It's a small sub-community in Austin where it's like restaurants, bars, hotels, shopping centers, stuff like that. So here's a picture of me. This is the before that they used. This is back in my skater days. 14 years old. And then the stats they pulled that I gave them. 14 years old. Height was 5'10", weight 120 pounds. And after, this is more a recent picture. I just didn't have any pictures of when I was like 18 that showed the transformation. But when I was 18, I was 5'10" and 186 pounds. So in that 4-year recovery period, I gained like 66 pounds, which is insane.
All right, so we're getting all the hat orders out and just all the orders from yesterday because we sold 130 in about 2 hours. And then once we get done with these, we're gonna launch vegan protein at 4 p.m. So that should be a big pop again too. So it's a lot of busy work kind of today, just getting ready for this next launch. So it is exciting though. It is exciting.
I've done a video on this whole topic before, which I'll link below so you guys can watch the entire story, which I talk from the beginning to end. But just to give a quick synopsis, when I was 14 years old, my 8th grade year of middle school into my senior year of high school, I developed an eating disorder where I lost a lot of weight to the point where I was hospitalized because my body was literally shutting down. Like nothing was working and I was just exhausted. I couldn't get out of bed. And then I went through this period of recovery. And during that period of recovery, I learned more about nutrition and fitness, and I got really interested. And that whole process, that whole journey, that couple years led me to wanting to go to college to study nutrition, where I considered being an RD, a registered dietitian, but I ended up joining the Army instead.
Vegan protein has arrived. Check it out.
You take my blues away. Paycheck, won't you take my blues away?
For months, like literally months, we've been getting emails to the customer service account for people asking and requesting for us to add a vegan protein to the line. So we did it. So this is a pea protein blend, a watermelon seed, and a pumpkin seed blend. And we teamed up with Compound Solutions to use their trademark ingredient, which is the smooth protein. But like to tell you the truth, if I never would have experienced this eating disorder when I was younger, I probably wouldn't have got so interested in nutrition and fitness and gone to school for nutrition or even started BPN. It's just crazy, like that at the time was such like a negative thing or an experience, a disorder that put me in a position of falling in love with this whole lifestyle.
Well, ain't nobody told me it'd be this hard. Guess I'll meet you in the middle.
There's something on my lens. It just looks dirty. We're officially 9 days out from the marathon right now, which means I'm decreasing volume for my training. Probably do one more run at like 6 miles this weekend. And yesterday was my last leg day before the run, and I maxed on squats, which was 475. My all-time PR is 500 on squats, 475 yesterday, which I'm happy with. So loud in here. I pick up Stephanie at the airport tonight after work. I've cleaned the apartment, we've cleaned the gym. Now I just gotta clean the truck. I'll tell you though, I took Old Glory to get washed the other day. Found out the hard way that truck is not waterproof. I got soaking wet.
Everybody be hating on my beer nuts. Get in this morning, they're half gone. Not just from me either, but these things are amazing. And they're cheap. $5.90 for this whole thing.
So let's bring this video back to where it first started. This magazine right here. This article that was done about my eating disorder transformation. Because when I remember, and what I can vividly remember, a point where I was at my weakest, my lowest, was I was probably, it was right when I was like 14, it was probably the peak of the eating disorder, and I was so weak that it was a Saturday morning, and I had to go to a baseball game that I was playing in. I remember the uniforms, I remember the colors of the team, everything, and I could not get out of bed. I was that weak, like my body was just so run down, lethargic, had no energy because I wasn't feeding it calories to do anything. I was at my weakest at that point. And then in the past couple of years, I've been at my strongest, where I've been able to deadlift 700 pounds. Yesterday, I squatted 475, and I feel strong. So when I'm doing some of these training sessions, I remember what it felt like to be that weak, which I did to myself. Like I starved myself and put myself in that situation. So I push myself even harder when I train now to make that transformation possible over the past over a decade now. The main reason I wanted to bring up this topic today is, for one, the article in this magazine kind of just kickstarted some ideas and some thoughts that I experienced when I was growing up. Because even though I look at like the recovery process, the recovery was not, it wasn't a year, it wasn't 4 years, it was a long period of time. I mean, you got to think, when I was 14 to 18, that's when I made a comeback. That's when I started feeling better. I started putting weight back on. And the physical transformation changed almost immediately. I started feeling better. But the mental aspect of it played a huge role for a long period of time. And what I mean by that is just unhealthy relationships with food. And I know for a fact that I'm not the only person in the fitness world that has experienced unhealthy relationships with food at some point. And a lot of people still do. And I can say at this point in my life, I have a very healthy relationship with food. But there was a point where if I missed a workout, it'd be the end of the world. And if I didn't hit my macros, it'd be the end of the world. I went from having to eat clean to flexible dieting and if it fits your macros, but being very strict with hitting those macros spot on every single day. And each to its own is controlling in some way. But I got to a point where I was able to build this healthy relationship with food over time. And I think that's the most important transformation. It's not from going from 120 pounds to 215 pounds where I'm at right now, but it's having that healthy balance in a relationship with food and social events and people and just balance in life. So I think that's the biggest takeaway I've learned from this whole eating disorder experience when I was 14 years old. And it put me in a position where I fell in love with nutrition and fitness and the supplement industry and business and everything we're doing today. That's probably just the stem of it. That's where I first started thinking about it. So that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Just want to share a little bit of insight in my life that I haven't brought up in a video or the channel for a long time. Because sometimes, to be honest, I forget about it. I forget that it even happened because it feels so long ago. And my mental relationship with food is so different now than it used to be. So thanks for listening.